City of God, On Eagle's Wings, and Here I Am, Lord, just some of the songs written by John Michael Talbot. For more than 40 years, Talbot has put God's words to music and blessed the lives of millions of listeners. Many of you have likely heard his music and sung along to the simple lyrics without knowing much about the songwriter. Kathy Harrington sat down with the Christian music legend and brings us this report.
There's a voice in the wind, can you hear it?
John Michael Talbot's music is more than a voice in the wind. It is his ministry.
Can you hear it?
So I first heard his work probably in the early 80s, mid to 80s, and I really loved it all, and he's done all kinds of stuff over those years.
For Father Frank Lawler, Talbot's music is the soundtrack of his life.
He represents what we all do. It's a journey. We're all on a journey here. We have different roads and different paths, and all we can do is walk with each other on this journey.
Okay, the next lyric is for we are his people. Reach out and hold each other's hands. Come on.
On this night, thanks in part to St. Mary's Parish, the Grammy Award-winning artist has journeyed to Westfield for a performance at Westfield State University. With 55 albums and more than 24 books to his name, Talbot's ministry has drawn people into a closer relationship with God.
Hallelujah. One last time. Hallelujah.
I listen to music before I go to bed, and it just relaxes me and it lifts me up because I know that God is there and I know He's looking after me and helping me.
Using Jesus' words, as in the Beatitudes, Talbot says music ministry is supposed to touch people. But there was a time when he took that for granted. All that changed when he spent time in solitude.
God really worked a miracle in my life, and the pretenses and all that stuff are kind of gone. So when I hear that God actually used my stupid little songs to touch somebody, I'm kind of like, wow. Has to be God, because it's not me, because I'm not that good.
We'll obtain everything.
I'm 63 years old. I used to really think I had some answers. I'm not sure I have any answers at all anymore, other than to pray more, pray for mercy for myself, for my sins, pray for mercy for the church.
After performing at 2 World Youth Days, playing for the Pope, performing at Catholic conferences in the U.S. and Europe, and leading parish missions, Talbot says he and his good friend Jeff Cavins realize now is the time to sound the alarm.
We are bleeding out people in the church in the United States. But the fact of the matter is the church is going to get small fast in the United States, and we're going to be like Western Europe. So that's where we're headed, and we've got to get comfortable with it.
Talbot points to Pope Francis and his call to Catholics everywhere.
I invite every Christian at this very moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ. It's not about programs, it's not about issues, it's not about politics, it's not about Mary or the Eucharist or the Pope, or those are the kind of the conservative issues, or the liberal side, it's peace and justice. Those are all great, but they're secondary things. They flow out of that personal encounter with Jesus Christ.
Talbot's books and his music challenge people to live authentic gospel lives.
My job is to get on my knees and cry for mercy. And that when you do that, not in a selfish way, but in a way that recognizes your own ego, that I believe if we would all do that, I believe that would have spiritual ripples that would be like tidal waves across the culture.
While this troubadour for the Lord may be cutting back on his performances, he's embracing all forms of media to reach more people. You'll find John Michael Talbot on TV, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. For Real to Real, I'm Kathy Harrington.
For more on John Michael Talbot, his CDs, DVDs, and books, we have a link at iobserve.org.